It's funny that that you're listening to you kind of like define illustration for yourself, because whenever I first had the idea for the series, I said I want to do an illustrative tattooing series and I want to reach out to some of my favorite illustrative style tattooers. And then I thought that's not descriptive enough. I want to talk about storytelling through tattooing. Yeah. So what I found is that I was asking myself, like, what makes who do I consider an illustrative tattooer that I really like? What makes them illustrative? And I guess the definition that I came up with, or whenever I first had the idea for the series, is when I look at a piece and I feel like I kind of walked in the middle of a story or in the middle of something happening, and whether I don't know what tells me that, I think just sometimes I see a character and I feel like I should know more about the character.
Just the implication is more important than the literal narrative,
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the implication of what could be is what an illustration is about. It could be this, it could be that. It's the starting point of the story. And if you look at some, what I think are some of the most successful illustrations, whether it's a movie poster or, something where it kind of has to do a very work-driven, literal job and make somebody go see this movie about this kind of thing, even those are suggestive because they want to get you to go in it. It's not that they don't want to give the movie away, even if they could, probably wouldn't read that way. It's just that they want to pique the interest and bring up a few topics without necessarily having to tell you every last thing about it. I think for tattoos, that's important too, because how it is. You have people come in and say, I want, this crazy thing happened to me that really changed my life, and it's super important to me, and I want to get something to represent that. And so here it is, and you could basically do it in the most blunt, literal way. But it's not only is that a bit boring, but it's also not necessarily that helpful to that person, because if that person wants to get something because that was important to them, do they need, or are they obligated to tell that story to everybody that sees it and give it all away? Again, if it piques the interest, it might start a conversation, or it might give context to that person and some event they had or something. I think in all of these scenarios, by going too far, getting too literal and trying too hard to give every last bit of the story away, we're shooting ourselves in the foot all at the same time.